What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. There's lots going on last night as the Blue Brand hosts more Money in the Bank qualifiers and more drama unfolds concerning the Bloodline. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of the Blue Brand, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Bianca Belair upset with Charlotte Flair, WWE revamping its tag title scene, the new WWE Women's Championship is WWE's laziness at best, a wrestler attacks a fan at a live event, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, Austin vs Uso awesomeness. Although the main event match was all about storylines, as both Austin's alliance with Pretty Deadly and the further development of the Bloodline's internal strife, Theory and Jey Uso wrestled an exciting match that hopefully is just the first of many. Anyone watching this match can see why Austin is called a now and forever champion, and Jey's nickname is Main Event Jey. Number 2, Mustafa vs Santos Escobar. Last night's men's Money in the Bank qualifier was an exciting match that was also a good use of Ali's free agent status and a reminder of how to use qualifying matches to showcase talent. Whether it's tournaments for a title, a gauntlet match for a title shot, or here a qualifier for the Money in the Bank, the WWE no longer seems to book these matches randomly. Instead, it uses them to entertain fans in the ring while also giving a talent a chance to show what they can do. Like Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali is a talent who can work a good match to make his opponent look like a champ in defeating him. Number 3, Shotzi vs Io Sky. Last night's women's qualifier match between Shotzi and Io Sky suggests Shotzi is getting closer to breaking out from the woman who rides a tank to the ring to a superstar who is ready to challenge for the championship gold. Although Io won, largely due to interference from Bayley, Shotzi still looked terrific. And number 4, Carmelo Hayes in Trick Williams' appearance. The champ is here. No, we're not talking about John Cena, but NXT champion Carmelo Hayes. Hayes showed up on the Blue Brand with Trick Williams looking to confront Baron Corbin after Corbin ambushed him on NXT. Rumor has it that WWE President Nick Khan is looking to elevate the Black and Gold brand's ratings and perhaps even upgrade it from a developmental territory into a third brand. That's why fans are seeing more main roster stars on NXT as they hope to bring in new viewers. That's a sound strategy, but it doesn't hurt to introduce NXT superstars to fans watching Smackdown and Raw, especially if they tease that they're going to do a match on NXT involving NXT and main roster stars. But that was a good what about the bad, as number 1, unifying the women's and NXT tag titles. The WWE's women's tag division is a mess, so why is the WWE intent on ruining the women's tag division on NXT? NXT has done well with its men's and women's tag division and doesn't need anyone from the main roster showing up to spoil things. While the WWE apparently feels one tag title will make for more exciting TV, it's unlikely fans will see the belts defended on all 3 shows on anything close to a regular basis. Throw in the equation of WWE portraying Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler as dominant champions, and fans are more likely to see the two destroy team after team rather than elevating anyone. Number 2, going to the well once too often. There was a rare slip-up in creative last night as the WWE went to the proverbial well once too often with the gimmick of a wrestler being blinded. While this can be a shocking segment when used sparingly, twice in 2 weeks is too much, let alone twice in one night. Having Scarlett throw red powder into AJ Styles' eyes to blind him and set him up for an ambush by Karrion Kross was fine. However, having Asuka try to spray poison mist into Charlotte's face the same night showed a lack of creativity. Number 3, the Usos seemed like a repeat of Sami Zayn being tested by Roman. And while we don't think the Bloodline storyline has grown stale, it's starting to show some wear and tear, especially with the current question of who Jey Uso will side with, Roman Reigns or his brother Jimmy. It wasn't too long ago that fans were down this road with Sami Zayn when his status as Henri Uso became questionable. The WWE needs to either speed things up or send things in a different direction that makes sense without seeming like hotshotting. But that was the bad. What about the downright ugly? As the women's title belt is WWE's laziness at best. Asuka has a new belt, or is it just Roman Reigns' belt with the white strap? The WWE's introduction of a new version of Asuka's Women's Championship could have been a memorable night, but instead, fans saw one of the most generic belts in the last few years. Fans familiar with the past championship belts have got to wonder whether someone with access to a 3D printer in WWE 2K23 could have done better. What do you guys think of the new championship? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at WWE revamping the tag title scene. Atop of today's news of the rumors that WWE is overhauling its tag division. Best Wrestling Experience is reporting on a tag division overhaul. While there's not much to go on from this report, a planned women's tag title unification match suggests that WWE is rethinking its women's tag team division. Could the men's division be next? If so, does this mean WWE thinks less of tag team wrestling, as it could end up with one women's tag title? Might this extend to the men's division, with the undisputed tag team champions unifying the NXT men's tag team championship? Next up, why AEW is loading up this week's Dynamite. Now, the 14th June edition of Dynamite looks like a major event, as AEW is booking several top-tier bouts, including an AEW Women's Championship title defense, an eliminator match between Adam Cole and MJF, a trios match involving the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite, and more. Does AEW want to get fans pumped up for the debut of Collision just days later? Well, that may be part of the equation, but Dave Meltzer is reporting next week's Dynamite won't face competition from either NBA or the NHL playoffs. According to Meltzer, AEW is looking to snag the #1 spot in the key demographics next week, a feat it hasn't achieved in a while due to tougher competition. Next up, Bianca Belair upset with Charlotte Flair. It looks like fans could be seeing the beginning of Bianca Belair's rumoured heel turn. Last night's Smackdown saw Charlotte Flair return to the blue brand for the first time since dropping the women's title to Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 39. The Queen challenged Asuka to a title match, a move which seems to have angered Bianca Belair, especially since the EST is still waiting for a rematch after dropping the women's title to Asuka at Night of Champions. Bianca tweeted, "They're over here stressing your girl out, you hear me? Your girl is stressed." While Belair's heel turn is just a rumour, we could see Bianca lose it if Flair gets a title shot before her. Some fans and pundits are also speculating that WWE could air a triple threat match between Asuka, Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. Next up, Seth Rollins appears after Smackdown. What was Raw superstar Seth Rollins doing on Smackdown after the cameras stopped rolling? Well, the World Heavyweight Champion appeared after the blue brand went off the air, with Rollins wrestling Damian Priest. Rollins got the win and chatted with the fans after the match, and no doubt happy to be in his home state of Iowa. It's not the first time a Raw star has worked a dark match on the blue brand, and as long as they don't appear on actual TV, it shouldn't be a big deal. Next up, a wrestler attacks a fan at an event. Did Extreme Pro Wrestling star Kid Osbourne attack a fan during a recent event? Or video has surfaced on Twitter of a fan standing and holding a sign near the security barrier where wrestler Kid Osbourne swung a light tube, shattering the sign. Some claim the fan was heckling Osbourne, but it's unclear why he broke the light tube on a sign or why Osbourne began throwing punches at the fan and pushing him. However, it's not known if the XPW incident is a real or a work. Several fans have commented that the person being shoved may be part of a group of YouTubers known for attending shows. And finally, NBC cancels Young Rock. Last but not least, fans of NBC's Young Rock will be sad to hear NBC has cancelled a series documenting Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's life growing up. The show ran 3 seasons and it saw ratings tank after NBC moved it to compete against Smackdown. Meltzer commented on the Wrestling Observer Radio that NBC may have wanted to cancel the show to begin with, hence its decision to air it against Smackdown. I knew it was the minute they moved it to Friday night and the first rating came in. Really, I knew when they were going to move it to Friday night that this was coming, because it was not going to draw head to head with Smackdown. A lot of times in television, someone wants a show cancelled and they don't want the heat cancelling it, so what they do is move it to Friday night or Saturday, and it does terrible ratings because those nights do terrible ratings, and then they can justify it by saying, "Look at the ratings." The show's ratings were somewhat shaky in its previous time slot. While they cancelled the show, the abundance of other cable stations and streaming services means someone else might pick up the show for a 4th season. What do you guys think of Young Rock being cancelled? Are you upset? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.